Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and as bad as I hate to say it, the weekend is over, and time to get your britches and start it back all over again as we head off into work. Glad to see you. I'm glad you're a part of this. We'll go over the weekend events in our area of what we know of this morning, a few things that we're still working on, trying to find out all the answers from behind the scene. Hopefully, we'll get some answers on a few of those things I'm working on here in a little bit, and I'll be able to tell you more about it. How are you? Cold right now. 31 is what we're showing in Meridian. Maybe your thermometer shows a little bit cooler wherever you may be watching from this morning. But we will warm up to a high of about 54 later today. Expect it to be cloudy for a good portion of that, and then gradually getting that sunshine peeking out above that after lunch sometime. Makes it kind of rough there when you want the sunshine to stand around in and warm up, doesn't it? We hope it will eventually come. We do. Do hope your weekend worked out for you. We were plagued with a bunch of fires this weekend. We'll tell you all about that here in just a moment, of where they were and what happened in the area. It's all coming up. Let's start out with what happened on Friday night, and we'll go back over this again this morning at 8 because, to my knowledge, the Meridian Police Department is still looking for this person. As we look at Friday night, the marathon there, this is Highway 19 if you were to get off on the Meridian Airport exit and go toward College Park. This is the gas station that sits at the red light there at 5th Street, marathon there on the right. They reworded this. First off, they called it strong arm robbery, and after evaluation of the video, they determined that it was larceny. As we look at this is who they are looking for. You know this person. We'll see this morning the Meridian Police Department of what they have done over the weekend on possibly solving this crime. We do hope that they have a person in mind as that happened. It was an undetermined amount of cash. The person ran out the door. What happened was the register was open, and the guy just reached over and grabbed the cash and ran. He ran behind the store down the street, down 5th Street. We'll find out more from the Meridian Police Department this morning as to how that investigation is going and what they know at this point. Saturday morning, as you woke up, this is bad news, as we'll pull this up for the person that lost their barn in the Clarkdale area. This was right on Clarkdale Road. A barn caught on fire. The volunteer fire department came, and my understanding, a tractor, four-wheeler, and all types of equipment was lost in the fire. You hate to see that happen. That's an expensive thing. Even if you have insurance, that's rough to have to replace everything you've got. But that was near Clarkdale High School on Clarkdale Road. It'd be the first right if you're coming toward the school in the Superette on the right there. So our thoughts are with those. And it just seemed to get worse as the morning went. Soon after that, another fire was reported not far from there on Valley Road. This would be, if you're looking at where the airport is, it'd be just to the left of there as we pull this up to look at this. A family lost everything that they own on the 4900 block of Valley Road. As we dig to take a look at this, here's a picture of the home out front. By the time firefighters got there, the home was engulfed. As a matter of fact, it caught back up a little bit later on that morning. Destroyed. Everything they had was lost there. Our thoughts go out with that family. And I've also got this listed here. If you'll see there, the volunteer fire department working. I have a list of what the family needs. If you're wanting to help out, the lady wears shirt, sweaters, large, pants are large, shoe size 12. The gentleman wears sweatshirts, 4X, pants 44-32. I've got it all listed there, plus a place that you can drop off if you have anything that they could wear. And I ask you to think about that if you were in this position. What could you do to help someone? I've got that posted on my page. If you, for whatever reason, if you can't find it, send me an inbox. We'll share that with you where you can help this family out. Nothing worse than being displaced. Think about that. Getting up, all you have left is the clothes on your back. Not good at all. As you're watching this morning, to make this bigger than it is, if you'd hit the share button, more people find out what's going on in the Meridian area if we all talk about it. And the only way that they're going to know about it is if we share this. So at some point, if you could click over and hit that share button, it'll show up on other people's timeline, and they'll know more also. If you notice, Taco Bell, we'll get some pictures of this today. North Hill Street, Taco Bell is disappearing, already halfway down. They'll replace the store and have a new one before long. So be looking for that on North Hill Street. Now, a few other things that happened over the weekend. I did have a report of someone saying that someone's home might have been busted into in the Dalewood area. Maybe some juveniles done that on the Parkway, East Parkway. As we dig deeper into this, let's go in. And the Meridian Police Department is also wanting your help. They're looking for this gentleman here. Let's pull this up so you can see this. This guy's name is Danny Irby. He has an active warrant for aggravated domestic violence through the Meridian Police Department for an incident that occurred last month near Highland Park. So if you happen to know where this gentleman is, his name is Danny Irby. Meridian Police Department would certainly like to talk to him. You can call Crime Stoppers at 855-485-8477. They just want a little chat with him there. They'll work it out once they talk to him about that. But not a good charge there. As we still continue, no new word yet from Clark County as to what we're finding about the young lady that is missing from Clark County. They still have not found anything. David Sharp, the Sheriff's Department, working very hard there for Miss Vaughn, whose vehicle was found in the middle of the road there. She's 75 years old. Carrie Bell Vaughn. You're just now finding out about this. Her car was found, I think it was Friday, and all of her contents in her car was still there. No word on where she is. We've had some very, very cold nights since then. We do hope she is found safe. No word on that. As we keep going through information that is coming in over the weekend, let's see here. Had a couple other things. We had a lot of accidents. A rollover at mile marker 144 on I-59. Car flipped over. Volunteer fire departments came out, worked on that, got them out safely. That was the good news on all of that. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, there's two things, and let me pull this up where you can see this. This breaks my heart, and I'm sure it does yours as well, as we go to Philadelphia, Neshoba County, which is so close to the Meridian area. It's almost as if we're all one big family, and I think we are from my years of radio. You can't find nicer people than there are in Neshoba County. As we look at this next story, this young man here, he's been injured. His name is Cullen McCoy. And, of course, he's in the hospital, and I've got it all listed there. He's been taken off the vent, doing a little bit better. They've reconnected all of his intestines. It just goes on and on there if you want to describe and see what all he's been through. It's been a lot. But they are starting and also the last I checked, his GoFundMe page to help with the medical expenses are up to, I think, around $28,000, which is great. Now, what they've also started is a Get Well Valentine's Day campaign. If you'd like to send him a Valentine's Day card, I've got the address here. You can also inbox me. I'll be glad to share that with you. 572 Poplar Avenue in Philadelphia is the number there. If you would like his address there, if you would like to help out, send him a card. Let him know that you're thinking of him. A few things that went on there. Also, coming up this weekend, we'll have that history walk in Meridian. That will begin Saturday around 5:45. It'll be coming up this afternoon, in the afternoon on Saturday. I think around 2 to 5:45 is the hours. We'll have some special guests this week to talk about that also. Over the weekend, what else went on in the Meridian area? Well, I see that we've had several places that shots were reported. Let's see, Friday night, 5th and 43rd Avenue. This was one of those interesting cases where someone got in trouble claiming they'd been shot at because, well, couldn't pay for the drugs. It's nothing that makes your drug dealer more mad than you not being able to pay for what you got. But he was nice and called the Meridian Police Department. I think they gave him a little ride somewhere also. We did have some reports of gunfire on Saturday around Mosby Road around Village Apartments. Also Saturday, and again, these places that I'm talking about, not necessarily any damage, but shots were fired. Somebody heard it. Somebody saw it, and they called and reported it. B Street was one of those areas. We also had, let's see here, the 400 block of 40th Avenue. Shots were reported there as well. Places that went on. Not good in any shape, form, or way, is it, for all of that? But that's a few things that went on right in the area around our weekend. Gives you something to think on there of what we've got. And, of course, I've got more coming up that we're still working on, as I said, that we'll find out, hopefully, and get the facts behind it all there. hopefully they'll catch a guy with that snatch and grab. We do find out that a Mississippi soldier that's been missing since 1942 is going to be heading home finally. His body and his remains have been identified in the jungles. They'll be bringing his body home to a South Mississippi family. Private Andrew Ladner from Harrison County was last seen in 1942. He's been missing in action, and they have found his body. As we look at our next story, have you heard about this? Over in Rankin County, and this is I-20 is just a corridor for drug travel. The Rankin County Sheriff's Department pulled over a bus. And let me just show you how this went down. This is what this looks like. It looks like a normal bus, doesn't it? Yeah, right until they started stopping it and taking it apart. And as they dug deeper into this, 213 pounds of cocaine was pulled from that bus. Yeah, looks normal. You wouldn't think anything was being hidden on there, would you? Here's one of the guys that they found driving the bus, and, well, here's his partner. I think that had a street value of somewhere around $14 million. That's a lot. Wow. They'll spend a few years behind bars there as they carry on with what they've got to do to them. Also, this happened. Let me pull this up and show you this. On the Mississippi River, let me tell you the headlines of this. They rescued a horse. Someone was riding a horse along the Mississippi River, and it fell in a sinkhole. It was close enough that the fire department there in New Orleans had to come help. And here's the horse. I think the horse is safe. Thank heavens as we look at this. But poor fella fell in that hole. They pulled him out, and he's all right. You always worry about a horse breaking a leg when they fall into something like that. But this one had a good ending. That's really good news. Scary there for somebody that dealt with that. Now, have you heard about this? I reported this on Friday night. Clinton, Mississippi. Nice town. The Chick-fil-A was all over the news in Clinton, Mississippi. Cops were everywhere. No one knew what was going on. They were doing live coverage from there, trying to figure it out. They cleared the Chick-fil-A. It had ended up being that someone was shot in the drive-through line. It ended up being the driver was shot in the back from a back seat person. What they done was after he was shot, they pulled him over and they rushed him to the hospital. He later died. It is being ruled accidental at this point. The gun went off. Why was he playing with it? We don't know. That's some of the things that will come out. But a bad place to die in the Chick-fil-A line for no reason. If you own a gun, no gun safety. There's a lot of people that play with things that they don't need to, and I take it that was the case of it. Hadn't heard much about this. This has been very quiet. We had a train derailment in the state of Mississippi. We did. It was in Vicksburg. The Vicksburg Post said there was no hazardous materials on board, which is good. It was a Kansas City Southern Railway train that derailed Saturday afternoon in the Vicksburg area. Thank goodness nobody was hurt. We hadn't heard much about that, have we? Also, at any given point, if you ever go to Jackson, Mississippi, always be on your P's and Q's. I can't tell you, and I don't report half of what I see. But again, this is one of those things. They haven't died, but it still isn't good. But a teen was in a gas station buying a candy bar. Somebody drives by and shoots at the store. The teen was injured. It's just one thing after another, Jackson, Mississippi. The crime is outrageous in Jackson as we continue to watch these stories that come out of that every single day. Something bad is going on. Jones County, not far from here, gentleman has been arrested for pistol whipping his girlfriend. I mean, what are you thinking? Here's a picture of this guy here, just so you'll get that in your head right there. He's 32 years old. Hopefully they'll teach him a lesson for that. Pistol whipping somebody. I'll tell you, that's not good. The old things of the movies where somebody gets whacked one time and they fall over, that's not how it happens. It's very dangerous. It's the same thing as taking a blunt object and beating somebody with it. We had two people that were injured in a wreck over the weekend in Warren County. Warren County is right over near Vicksburg. They hit an 18-wheeler. The 18-wheeler guy, the driver's fine, but the two people that hit the 18-wheeler have been rushed to the hospital, condition unknown at this point. That's a few things that happened there. Over the weekend, down south, Biloxi are investigating a homicide. An arrest has been made, and I've tried to read his name several times, but boy, it's a tough one there. 37-year-old, I'm going to call it Pit Palm. Yeah, I can't pronounce his last name. There's more with this being developed, but a lady was found murdered. He has been arrested for that right here in the state of Mississippi. More and more of that we see each day. Over in Alabama and Birmingham over the weekend, that's not far from the Meridian area, though, as we look at into Birmingham. As we look at this, there was a parking garage attendant who got into it with two people that were breaking in a car. He pulled a gun and shot one of them. One of them is a teenager, and he died. No charges have been filed at this point, but it's early into the investigation as we watch what happens there in Birmingham. Oh, boy. Don't break into cars in Birmingham. And Birmingham is one of these cities, just like Jackson, Mississippi, that crime has escalated. But again, I urge each and every one of you, as I talk about these things, make sure to share information that you see that happen in our area. We don't want our city, our area, and I mean that in every county that adjoins where I'm watching, that you're watching from Lauderdale County. We don't want our area to be crime-ridden. We want to take our cities and communities back. When you see it, snap a picture. Get a copy of it. Something looks suspicious. If you know something has happened, feel free to send it to me. If you don't want to talk to the police, I'll be glad to give it to them for you. Whichever the case, we just want to catch the bad guys that threaten our society. We're tired of this, aren't you? I am. I don't like watching it at all. We've got more coming up. We'll tell you all about the forecast next, what to expect this week, how cool, what's happening. All that's next right here. Don't leave. The Scotty Ray Report continues this morning.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
Rock House Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rock House will have the gun that you need, with a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian. Great bunch of folks if you hadn't dropped by the Rock House Trading Post lately. As Tina Collins pointed out in her comment there, that she lives about 20 miles south of Memphis, and crimes have been moving south for years. And seriously, if you don't do anything, if you just turn the other cheek, well, nothing's ever done. Report it. Let's take bad guys off the street as much as they can be. And again, we know that it relies on the judicial system in the end after the police do their job. And let's hope that, well, it does get done. Let's see. Scotty, could you send Jose Dunnigan a shout out at 8 o'clock this morning? Be glad to do that. Having surgery this morning. He got burned on the face last night. We sure will. We'll mention that. We do hope he's getting better there. Good morning to Denise Covington. Glad to see you up and at 'em as well. Let's see. Terry Carter is up from the Preston General Store. Hope everything's going well there. Let's glance at Miss Rachel Grapper is up. Bailey Grace, good morning to you. Lily and Glenn, how are you doing? Glad to see you're up as well today. Roy Ellis, 30 in the Clarkdale community this morning. Just a little bit cooler than it is in Meridian. 31 we're reporting right now. Terry Ray, 28 in Philadelphia. Ooh, Flora Overstreet, good morning to you. Also, Charlotte Gray watching us from Philadelphia. Bree Packer, Janice Bounds, a few of the people that I'm seeing there. I'd love to hear from you as well. Let us know where you're watching from. If you've got a thermometer, let us know how cool it is where you are. Let's talk about the weather a minute or two. Y'all ready for this? As we start our day, let's look at radar of what's up this morning. We'll see that in the immediate Meridian area, all is clear as we look at the radar this morning. We do have fog showing up here east of Mobile, due north of Pensacola, a little bit there on Pensacola. If you're traveling 90 in that area there, it's going to be a lot of fog. But the worst of it is right there in Century, Bineville, Florida. Those areas there have a lot more, near Atmore, Florida. A lot of fog there. We do have some showers off in the Gulf just south of New Orleans, making its way toward the Pascagoula. Listen, I made a new word, didn't I? Biloxi, and headed toward the Mobile area this morning. Look at that rain. That's going to make its way on across there. As we move up through the state of Mississippi, it looks great right now. No problems whatsoever. Showing some fog in Knoxville, Chattanooga, and just northeast of Nashville this morning. Let's just see what the weather is there. Oak Hill, Tennessee this morning is sitting at 26. So most of the Nashville area down to Murfreesboro, 25 there, right around Murfreesboro. Chilly. A chilly, chilly day. As we look at this, now this is what is areas of concern. If you're traveling this morning in this area, if you're a trucker, you've got friends and family, Greensboro. These areas right through here, a lot of ice this morning in North Carolina, through Durham, South Carolina, these areas. Virginia's got a little bit. We do have rain down to Fayetteville and also through Florence and these areas of Columbia, South Carolina. But be careful on that eastern side of Tennessee into the Carolinas. We want you to get where you're going safely today. New York, well, let's see. Always windy there. Right now, 30 degrees as we cut across the United States. Montana, let's go up to North Dakota this morning. 25, not so bad there. We've got 3 degrees. And what is that? Oaks Corner, Minnesota. And 7, a heat wave going on for them there in Minnesota. As we cut across to Montana, 33, not too bad there, is it? As we look at North Dakota, 27, it's warmed up a lot. We saw a lot of cold weather up there last week. And as always, a little rain there in Seattle. Looks like we've got a little bit of fog out in California. Not bad at all as we look at the overview of what's happening in the United States. Nothing bad. We don't have any major storms that are headed towards the spring and snow, sleet, or any of those things this week, which is absolutely good. All right, let's turn and get a little bit closer forecast into what's going to happen from the National Weather Service. What are they telling us today? Let's take a look at that now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we look at our record highs and record lows, back in 2019, we had a warm day. It was 80 degrees on this date. As we move forward to 1988, who remembers that? 17 degrees on this date. That was a chilly day back in 17. As we look at what's happening across the state of Mississippi today, we'll hit 54 here in Meridian as sunshine moves up. We've got plenty going on there in Philadelphia. 54 there up to Columbus, 54 as well. Pretty much a carbon copy. You've got to get over west around Vicksburg and back over into Louisiana to see higher temperatures. But Jackson, Vicksburg, 55, 1 degree higher. Even south down to Natchez and Brookhaven. Got to hold it steady at that same degree there. As we move across to Alabama, what's our friends doing there this morning? 54 there in Tuscaloosa, same as Demopolis. We'll hit about 54 also at Livingston, Alabama. A steady temperature on both sides of the state lines there. Down to Troy, Alabama, it looks like y'all will see 53. And even in the northern part of Alabama, where it's a little bit cooler usually up here near Hamilton, about the same, just 2 degrees different than it is from the Meridian area. Not bad at all. As we look across the United States over the next 6 to 10 days, this is what we've got. A little bit cooler, but this is what we'll come across toward the end of the week, warming up the state of Mississippi. Carolinas are cool, but a heat wave making its way from the western side of the United States. Now, here's our 7-day forecast, and let's dig into this so that you'll know exactly what's happening here. Today, gradually, and I say gradually, becoming mostly sunny. It's going to be cloudy for this first part of the day, the first leg of it, and we'll hit 54 before it's done. Again tonight, the cold weather is not over, just as it was this morning, below freezing. We had a low of 31 this morning, 30 in some areas, and the further north you go. But we're expecting 28 tonight. That's cold. Again, I urge you to take care of your pets. Make sure that all your animals have got hay. They're warm. And, well, if you've got a neighbor that needs a helping hand, do what you can there. Cold weather's rough on people. As we look to Tuesday, as we get well into the week, 58, 33 for the low tomorrow night. Not bad. And we're going to keep these 30s all week long as we look to midweek. 63, it starts warming up to where you can kind of stand to be outside. By Thursday, 65, it'll be a wonderful day. On Thursday, brings about more sunshine. On Friday at 64. Into the weekend, not bad at all. Right now, we're looking at, for the most part, sunshine, 63, a little bit cooler as temperatures will dive back into the 50s on Sunday afternoon. But again, that's not bad at all. Let's go another week into the month to see what we've got shaking for February here. 59 for the high on the 14th, a week from today, sunshine there. And then we'll have some chances of rain back into the forecast by the 17th. Look at that. Nothing major. 60s, overnight lows in the mid-40s as we jump ahead further into the week. We're working on a lot of stories for you this morning as we get ready for the morning show as it comes about this morning. We'll have Candace get ready. Still a mess in Canada. Is everyone keeping up with this? They've even had a truck drive through the crowd trying to run over people. 4 people were injured over the weekend there at Canada as the protest continues over the vaccine. This is getting ugly. They've taken all of their money that was given to them on GoFundMe. And if you remember back, anybody remember this? Back when they had that encampment in Washington where they took over the park. Y'all remember that? All those people that were out. GoFundMe gave all of them the money and let them stay a little bit longer. Why would you do it for one and not the other? Huh. Also, we'll give you this Joe Rogan thing. Everybody up on this? You've had Neil Young, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and another lady that I can't remember her name, go against Joe Rogan and say that they didn't like him. Well, then we had The Rock come out in support of him on Friday. By Saturday morning, The Rock had taken that back. Someone really wants Joe Rogan gone. They went back and tried to find something where he had said something wrong years ago. And so then The Rock takes it back, and then someone digs something up on The Rock that he had said that was racially maybe not right. People are really telling The Rock that he's not liked right now for doing that. They didn't expect him to give support and then take away. They expected The Rock to take a stand. And as we also find out this morning, if you were trying to get rid of him off Spotify, and that's what that whole thing was this weekend, of trying to find something that they could get Joe Rogan removed from. And Spotify says it's not going to happen. They still lend support to Joe Rogan. And if you're thinking, who is Joe Rogan? What is he? He's a guy that kind of does what I do. His is like 50 million times bigger than what I do. He has nationally known guests that come by every day, but it's basically a show like this that he does that is carried on Spotify, and they want him gone. The left don't want him talking about not taking the vaccine or his support of those that don't want to take it. Well, maybe that's a better way to word it. They have taken down 70 of the episodes that they feel go against the grain, so to speak. But they are not going to cancel him. As hard as they tried, he's still going to be there. And again, as an American, it is your right to choose whether or not that you want to take the shot. Up to you. Maybe your doctor tells you you should. Listen to your doctor, whichever the case is. Also, we'll talk about the plane crash. Y'all remember that? The U.S. Air Force plane, that stealth fighter that cost $100 million to build. China's trying to dig it up out of the sea because of our technology. We'll show you the footage this morning beginning at 8 of where it crash landed on the jet, on the deck, as it was coming in to land on the carrier. The video footage has been leaked from that. I'll let you take a look at that. Also, over the weekend, New Orleans Saints star Alvin Kamara was arrested for battery charges for an incident at a nightclub. I don't keep up with enough of the guys that play NFL, which brings the next thing. Has all been forgiven? Has everybody forgotten about the knee thing? Are you back to watching sports again, the NFL? Are you going to watch the Super Bowl? We'll talk more about that at 8 a.m. this morning. I don't think I'm ready to do that. There's a lot of folks that say, well, they're not showing the national anthem anymore on television. And, well, it's okay. I don't have to see it anymore. Yeah, I'm one of those hard, stubborn-headed guys that, I just don't forget easy. That's coming up. It's your choice. That's this coming up. What is it? It'll be Super Bowl Sunday coming up. Yeah, it's next weekend, right around the corner. Whew. And as Tina says, she'd like to never hear the words COVID vaccine again in her life. I think a lot of people feel the same way that you do. Anyway, we've got a great show lined up for you coming up at 8 a.m. this morning. We want you to be a part of it. Can't do it without you. Join us live beginning at 8 a.m. We'll be right back here on all these platforms and also live on television on MeTV. Whichever way you watch us, we want you to be a part of it. That's all on the way this morning. Thank you for coming by and being a part of the Scotty Ray Report as we tell you what happens in and around our community and things nationwide. It all begins again in 1 hour with Scotty Ray and Candace. Come back and join us. You'll have a blast. It's the fastest hour on television that you'll bump into today. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by